All right, let's dive into a true story that is genuinely chilling. It's about a world where art, what feels like destiny, and some seriously dark black magic all crash into each other. It all starts with something as innocent as a visit to an art gallery and ends in a desperate fight for survival. We're going to unpack how a chance meeting was actually a trap planned from the very beginning.
Can you even imagine hearing those words? You're completely paralyzed, can't move a muscle, watching a sinister ritual unfold all around you. Well, for one young man, this was his horrifying reality. So the question is, how on earth did he get here? What kind of twisted path leads you to the brink of being a human sacrifice? To find out, we have to go all the way back to the beginning.
So where does a story like this start? You might be thinking a creepy old house or some dark alleyway, right? Nope. Our story starts in the most unexpected place. A bright, quiet art exhibition. A place that's supposed to be about creativity. But for one person, it was the start of a deadly trap.
Okay, so let's meet our main character, Ajay. He's 23, a student, just having a normal day, checking out an art show. He's walking around, looking at the paintings, when suddenly, he just stops, dead in his tracks. Because on the wall is a painting, and the man in that painting, it's him. I mean, it is exactly him. The same eyes, same face, everything. It's his perfect double. The thing is, he's never, ever posed for a painting. So his mind is just racing, who painted this and how?
So naturally, he has to find the artist, and he does. Her name is Malini, and she's incredibly charming, just beautiful. When Ajay asks her about the painting, she acts all surprised, saying, "Oh, I just painted that man from my imagination." But watch this move. She doesn't just brush it off, she spins it. She says, "I think destiny wanted us to meet through this painting." I mean, what a line, right? And Ajay, he's flattered, he's intrigued, so he says yes to getting coffee. And just like that, the very first thread of this dark web has been spun.
All right, so what seemed like this magical, fated meeting, well, it's about to take a very, very dark turn. This whole friendship, it was just a cover, a front for something incredibly sinister, involving some really dangerous black magic.
So, Malini starts giving Ajay all this attention, showering him with these thoughtful gifts. But here's the thing, every single gift is actually a tool for a spell. First, she makes him this sweet pudding called kheer. Sounds nice, right? Except it's been secretly enchanted for Vashikaran, which is basically a spell to completely control someone. Then, she gives him the painting, the very one that started this whole thing. Only now, it's being used as a kind of magical surveillance camera to watch him. And finally, she ties this little black thread around his wrist, telling him it's to protect him from the evil eye. But really, it's meant to tie his very spirit to her. Ajay thinks he's being showered with affection, but he's actually being wrapped in a curse.
And it doesn't take long for things to get weird. The spell starts working almost right away. Ajay thinks he's just sick, a really bad fever. But that's the spell taking hold. He's having terrible nightmares, but he just writes it off as stress. What's really happening is a full-on supernatural attack. He feels this crushing weight on his chest at night, like someone is literally sitting on him, suffocating him. He's waking up totally exhausted with these weird red marks on his body, and he has absolutely no idea he's under this constant invisible assault.
Then comes the moment the mask really starts to slip. They're on a video call, and for just a split second, Malini's face, it morphs. It twists into this horrifying, demonic shape. Ajay is so shocked he literally drops his phone. By the time he picks it up, she's smiling again, blaming it on a bad internet connection. But you can't unsee something like that. That image is burned into his brain. This is a massive red flag, a truly terrifying peek at what's lurking underneath.
Now, you'd think after seeing something like that, he'd run, right? But the spell is strong. He's still caught in her web. So when Malini invites him over to her house for a special prayer and to finally meet her mother, he actually agrees. And that one decision, that's what walks him right into the final, terrifying part of their plan.
As soon as he gets there, the alarm bells start ringing. The house is just off. It's run down and has this cold, weird vibe. And her mother's greeting? It's not a handshake or a hug. She comes out and performs this bizarre ritual, waving a plate of red chilies and black sesame seeds all around him. It's so strange and unsettling, but he tries to just, chalk it up to some old family tradition he doesn't understand.
Then they take him inside to a room with this idol, and it is terrifying. It looks more demonic than divine. They tell him to pray, and as he brings his hands together, the mother throws a red powder at him, and instantly, he's frozen, just like that, completely paralyzed. He's like a statue. He can see everything, he can hear everything, but he can't move at all. The trap is sprung. He's helpless.
And now that he can't do anything, the truth finally comes out. Malini just lays it all bare. She tells him everything. The meeting at the art show, the painting that looked just like him, the instant friendship, all of it was a lie. An elaborate trap set by her mother, from the second they laid eyes on him.
But you have to wonder, why Ajay? Out of everyone, why was he the perfect victim? Well, the answer is in the stars. Literally, it's about Vedic astrology. See, Malini's mother dabbled in the dark arts, and she'd gotten a look at Ajay's astrological chart. She saw that he was born under something called the Rohini Nakshatra. Think of a nakshatra as a birth star that defines who you are. And here's the crucial part. Malini's disabled brother was born under the exact same star. This same background meant their life forces were, in a way, compatible, and that made Ajay the one and only person who could be the perfect sacrifice for their ritual.
And that's when they dropped the final, horrifying bomb. Their goal wasn't just to control him. No, it was much, much worse. They were planning a human sacrifice. They believed that by sacrificing him, they could literally transfer his life force over to her sick son and cure him. Ajay was specifically chosen to die so that someone else could live.
So there he is, trapped, paralyzed, just moments away from an absolutely gruesome end. It seems like it's all over, but another supernatural power, something much older, was about to step in.
Just as Malini steps out of the room to go get her brother for the final act, something miraculous happens. The paralysis just lifts. It's gone. The spell is broken. And Ajay doesn't waste a single second. His heart is hammering, and he just bolts. He runs for his life, getting out of that house of horrors with no idea how or why he was just set free.
He's running, and his phone starts ringing. It's his mom, and she sounds completely frantic. She tells him that back at their house, something unbelievable had just happened. His dad suddenly went into a trance and started speaking with the voices of their ancestors, their pictures. And these ancestral spirits gave them a terrifying warning that Ajay was in grave danger, trapped by dark magic. So the power that broke the spell, it wasn't just luck. It was his own family line, his ancestors, fighting back against the black magic to save him.
So, Ajay made it out alive. But an experience like that, it changes you forever. And his story, even with all the supernatural stuff, is a really powerful warning about how dangerous things can get when you mix blind superstition with misplaced trust.
Okay, so what are the big takeaways here? What can we learn from Ajay's nightmare? I mean, it goes beyond just being careful. The story really highlights some classic manipulation tactics. Be suspicious of those meant-to-be moments, you know? And if someone gets super intense and interested in you way too fast, that can be a huge red flag. It's a form of grooming. And think twice about accepting gifts that feel like they come with strings attached. But most importantly, trust your gut. If a situation, or a person, or a place, like that creepy house, just feels wrong, don't try to explain it away. Just get out of there.
When you think about it, Ajay's story is just a really chilling reminder that sometimes the most dangerous traps look like the most amazing opportunities. It really makes you stop and ask yourself a pretty important question. In our own lives, how good are we at telling the difference between a real connection and a brilliant lie? And maybe more importantly, are we paying attention to those little flashes, those quick glimpses of the monster behind the mask?